Okay, y'all, time for another book review, another Doug Wilson book review, Get the Girl. So, Get the Girl. How to be the kind of man, the kind of woman you want to marry, would want to marry. Boom. So there was some kerfuffling online, as always, before this book came out, just because of how directly it speaks about gender roles in marriage. Since the book has come out, I've seen more than one person commenting on social media about how much this book has blessed them, changed their lives. And more than one woman, like most good family Christian books, any Christian can read this and be enriched. In fact, this book is written in letter format, which, sidebar, I don't like reading letter formats. And Pastor Wilson is not the only pastor I follow who does this. I get it as an effective way to help you write. I really dislike it. Maybe Screwtape Letters is an exception. But the positive thing about it is that I didn't read all the blog posts that this is based on, and so the book was fresh for me. But that's just a style thing. The content is absolutely fantastic. So anyway, people have been posting about how life-changing it is, and really it's like any good pastoral book, and like a lot of Pastor Wilson's previous pastoral work. The reason you feel that way, one feels that way, I think, is that he does a great job of sort of pulling you from the distracting stream of life to consider practically. There are a lot of things in here that many Christians already believe or have been thinking about, but this book helps crystallize and make practical for your life a lot of those things. So let me read a bit from the back of the book. There's a little quote from the book itself and then a blurb. I'm going to read the quote first. This is early on in the book. The manosphere online is filled with a certain kind of red-pilled bitterness which, when it is coupled with evolutionary and materialistic assumptions, produces an odd mix of appalling selfishness and cynicism and reductionism with regard to sex, coupled with common grace insights that you would never hear from an evangelical beta preacher. And this is a good choice of text to include in the back, because really, it's the good and the bad of the manosphere. The good being, at least the manosphere will talk about things that beta preachers won't say. And it was very pastoral of Pastor Wilson not to say cuck. But I feel like that word could be in here. I'm glad he didn't, though, because I despise that word and the obsession with that concept. Anyway, here I am bringing it into this video. So in summary, Doug Wilson writes to a young man on how he should pursue a woman. Feminism has catechized us in many lies about what makes the sexes attracted to each other. Wilson offers his own common-sense advice, sharp-edged and thoroughly biblical, not just on how to be the kind of man who attracts the right woman, but how to be the kind of man that keeps her. So in reading this book, it was a very, very quick read. There was a lot of really great stuff, and Wilson's voice is so fun. So there are a lot of quotables in here. I actually intend to make a series out of this. This raises a lot of questions that I think would make good fodder for our giant conversations. In fact, I went ahead and made a snazzy intro just for those videos. Questions inspired by Get the Girl. How to be the kind of man, the kind of woman you want to marry, would want to marry, by Douglas Wilson. So there are chapter titles in here like Nice Guys and Jerks, Don't Make Your Wife a Lesbian, Lack of Communication is Key, Wilson is being a provocateur, and those who get in a tizzy are falling into that trap, exposing themselves as people who aren't willing to actually take a listen and engage directly with ideas. So if you read Lack of Communication is Key, what he's actually talking about is communicating like a man and setting expectations so that your wife isn't expecting to marry a woman, i.e. a man she won't respect as a man. Same with the don't make your wife a lesbian thing. So really all this is practical advice on how to be the man of the house when you are the man of the house. So we're approaching 6 minutes. I want to keep this video relatively short because I am going to do several follow-ups. In a nutshell, I like the book. There's lots of gold and lots of useful stuff in here. My boys are going to read it. I've recommended that my wife read it as well. My daughters. So it's on that level of a lot of other Wilson books, Fidelity, for example, that are useful for every Christian to read, regardless of where in life they are. It's going to be a blessing to them. All right, the peace of Christ be upon you.
Our educational system, and indeed our society as a whole, was destroyed in the 19th century by the German influence.
Really?
Ability as a concept turned into a mechanical, empirical construct. You may be a beneficiary of this system.